Is there an easy way to monitor our LLMs in production? Yeah, thankfully with Wallaroo's LLM listeners, we can monitor the kind of data that's been entered into and generated by our LLMs in an automated way. In this video, we are using OpenAI GPT 3.5 to summarize our text, and we want to score how well the model performs before we publish the generated text. Now, to implement it, in the first step, we'll upload our OpenAI API wrapper using the BYOP framework that we covered in the RAG video. We wrap the OpenAI API so that it can be used in a Wallaroo pipeline. Next, we'll upload our off-the-shelf summarization listener, and this will score the summarization which is generated by GPT 3.5. In our next step, we'll configure our deployments, and in our third step, we'll tell Wallaroo how we want our GPT wrapper and Summarization LLM listeners to interact. We'll also add in an extra step at the end of our pipeline. Now, we'll add in a threshold that says that if a summarization score is lower than 0.75, then please flag this for us. Once we've set that up, we can deploy our pipeline, and then we can go ahead and generate our summaries. Now, I'm asking GPT 3.5 to produce summaries for me, and so using the infer function, we can go ahead and generate those summaries. Now, along with our generated summary, we'll also receive an incorrect summary flag, and we can see it here. Right now it is set to false because our score is greater than 0.75, but if we change the summary to 5 words, we can see that our incorrect summary flag is now set to true because our score is lower than 0.75. At this point, depending on our business workflow, we can either decide not to publish this at all, or maybe loop in a human to look at it, or maybe even add in another process. This is one way of looking at LLM listeners. The other way is Assays. You may have seen some other videos, but Assays are Wallaroo's configurable built-in automated drift detection tool, and it is highly customizable. Here in this video, we can see that we have an assay ready to go. And over here, what we're doing is that we have set it on a baseline distribution and a threshold so that we see here is the listener outputs being plotted against a baseline. And we can see that we've simulated it to show that as time progresses, the summarization score drifts further. Now, if we click on the outlier, we can see the distribution of that outlier. Not only that, we can also look at the individual listener scores, we can also see where that drift is coming from. So from here, we've seen that inline listeners and then listeners with assays, we can see how Wallaroo's LLM listeners can help address some of the stresses that come from LLMs in production.